low bowl that needs a lot of care and attention on water, right? Since
Yeah.
it doesn't have so just doing that whole dance of lots of sun, but also needs lots of care on the water type of thing. So,
Do you have a place in your house that's really bright that gets direct sun that you can put it?
we do kind of have a sunroom, but I got nothing built plant wise for it.
Oh, because that would be ideal because you can keep it in the house and won't get too hot. And then you could just water it.
Hey, we're live here.
Oh, sorry.
Right, just chatting.
Yeah.
Sunday
Hi.
chat or Saturday chats.
That's right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle.
Do the.
Oh, hold on. I'm not. I gotta,
Oh, sorry.
Let me cue
Sorry.
it up, babe. All right.
Trying to control again.
Yeah. That's what I love about you. I'm never lost. Always controlled.
I don't know if you really love that aspect, but I'll take it.
Everything's looking good. Got all the audio piping properly. Looking at the stream up on the Mac. Going good. Okay. Good morning and happy Saturday.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Babe, I love you. It's been
I love you too.
been a good week.
It's been a really good week. Yeah.
Patrick, I love you. It's been a great week. Thanks for coming by and helping me with I'm calling it the cicada shack.
Yeah.
Because the cicadas have just died all over it.
Yeah. they just land on it and then just die. They're 7 days, 7 years. 7 years is up.
7 days.
7 days. 7 days is up. Oh no,
It's
they're
like
underground for okay.
7
John's
years.
version of the Flying Dutchman. They come and contribute their bodies to the
Yeah.
building of the shed.
Yeah.
We're hoping they'd all just come and cover, like one side of the.
Oh, gross.
That'll give Ozzy plenty of protein to eat.
Yeah. That'd be all. Okay, let's roll the intros.
This podcast contains adult themes and language. The views expressed here are our own opinions and experiences. We are not medical professionals.
In this podcast, we discuss our opinions about mental health, sobriety, addiction, and our pursuit of happiness and peace. This is Sober Mind.
Take me to the happy place. Okay, as we were saying, good morning. Welcome to Patrick. It is Sober Mind episode 17. That's not to include, we did some of the Sober Mind rewinds that we did.
Right.
And,
Should we introduce ourselves? I noticed on some other podcasts that they introduce themselves.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm Judy. Good morning.
I'm John.
And I'm Patrick.
Yay!
I guess we should do an intro. Let's professional it up a little bit. Anyway, and we'll do a recap. Here we go. We'll just reformat everything as we're going along here.
Why not?
Yeah, that's fine. We are, all three of us, are sharing our sobriety and mental health journey and exposing all the raw details to the world so everyone can share it and see that you are not alone, you're not unique in this, and it's normal for folks to experience this. Patrick, I saw heard a phrase yesterday. I'm going to butcher it, but it was essentially us human beings, and we know this, we've talked about it in various fashions before, have almost an egotistical ability, if you will, to think that our current mood, our current state of consciousness is absolutely 100% unique to us. That however I'm feeling, that no one else is like this.
No one else is suffering what I'm suffering.
Yeah, and when it's always helpful to, when I was in my deepest of deep, depressions and dark places, the one thing that always did give me a little bit of comfort was when I would realize that there's other people out there, that millions of people that are experiencing the same thing, if not worse.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, didn't make me feel good that people are doing that. It's just like, I'm not unique. I'm not alone. This makes me feel good. Yeah.
Oh man, I love you open it up with some metaphysical stuff right off the bat.
Jumped right in.
Yeah.
Right in.
I mean, is that a bad thing though? Let's slice this real quick, John. The ego. What is Buddha nature of ego? I. Me.
Mhm.
You know, and so when you're experiencing feelings, the ego is like, remember, I am sad. Not I am feeling sad. I am sad.
Mhm.
You know, there may be sadness out there, but I am experiencing this right now in no other way that anybody else is. And you know what? There is some truth to that. The only, that's affecting you uniquely in a unique way. That does not mean that there are similar,
Other people who are feeling sad.
right. So the state of you being in the sadness is unique, but the feeling of sadness is not universal. Like it's quite the conundrum that we live in all the time. The ego wants to drive to me, I'm unique.
Yeah.
And we just got to remember to, like, again, tell them to chill out sometimes.
Yep.
It's like taking it from the macro to the micro.
Yep.
I am extremely important and excessively insignificant all at the same time.
Yeah. So speaking of the feelings, I wanted to give I do need to give a quick recap of where I'm at with everything. I'm just going to call it 6 weeks. I'm not going to keep breaking it down. I think that's boring. So I quit cold turkey, Effexor, Depakote, Wellbutrin, and my latest, Caffeine. I'm at about 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. So
You've been off caffeine for 3 weeks?
yeah,
I thought it was only like 2.
2.5. I quit midweek.
Okay.
Thanks for always keeping me in check, babe. I appreciate
That's what I'm here for.
How dare you? There's no way it could be 3 weeks. More like 2.5.
Just trying to keep you honest.
I know. Anyway, so this is not medical advice. I did quit cold turkey, but fast forward, here I am now. It was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. The physical portion of the Effexor was brain zaps and visual apparitions, looking to the left, dizziness, moodiness, big time. Irritability. When I quit the Wellbutrin, I had not so much physical stuff, but man, some depression, rebound depression crept in. It was just a side effect of your dopamine levels getting back to their baseline and norm.
That was like 3 days of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as severe, even close to depression. I would just call it like having the blues a couple times. Oddly enough, when I was on all that medication, the times when I would get depressed, Patrick, like real bad depression. Just that's why she put me on Depakote. The mood stabilizer would hopefully keep everything in check. Anyway, to recap, if you've all seen these episodes, the number 3 of just having 3 psychotropic medications just wasn't resonating well with me because I didn't know where my baseline was. But here we are. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Before we started the show, we always have a little sidebar to get our voices loosened up, and we're just sharing about how, especially since I quit caffeine, that for the last 7 or 8 days, I have a very consistent level of wind down for the day, like clockwork now. And I'm going to sleep like the exact same way. Feels really neat. I've never had before in the past. It was like, well, it's bedtime. I could be super tired one night and mediocre, or one night or not. Now it's like no matter what physical activity I've been doing or what's going on, going to bed like the same way, waking up feeling really refreshed.
Yeah, and you've been pretty much, like I was saying before, you've been stable throughout the day. There's been no highs or lows.
Yeah,
it's been pretty solid, pretty stable, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing that, and I'm sure it's nice for you.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah. Which John am I getting today?
Who am I waking up with today?
Well, I mean, you get the same thing with me too.
Patrick, I did have a moment the other day. I was out there working, here in the Midwest, we've been getting the El Nino, the Gulf Gulf breeze of all the humidity that comes in this time of year. It just gets
brutal,
hot, humid. I was out there working on the Cicada Shack, the workshop studio, and I did have this brief moment. I was like, I feel good. I'm really just, I've got nothing that's affecting me except me. There's no external sources. No chemicals, no nothing.
I haven't seen any tools or equipment fly across the yard, so that's been pretty good.
That said, I did have a brief moment of, man, I want to get fucked up. Just like a quick, like, oh, I deserve it. Then I was like,
and then you played it forward.
No, I didn't even have to play it forward. This one just left. I was like, that was dumb. But they pop, they pop in once in a while.
Well, we've 20 years of that habit. It's not gonna go away overnight.
Yeah, but I was like, oh man, I could sure get drunk right now. No. They pop in, like when I saw the Dos Equis Amber at the taco shop a couple weeks ago. I was like,
oh yeah,
my mouth went. I could have 10 of those easy.
Either that or the margarita commercials that we saw on TV. Every once in a while I get those. Oh, that really looks good, and then I think, oh no.
Yeah, we were going to bed last night, and we had a brief discussion about, man, it feels really good to be sober.
Yeah, feels really good to be sober, to be lucid, to be aware and not have a fog over top of everything that's going on around you.
Yeah.
It's been really nice.
Yep, feel like we're on the mend for sure. It's been a long ride. Okay.
Enough of our baggage. How about you, Patrick? How are you doing?
Patrick, can we talk about... Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, apparently you already got something to talk about. What's up?
I wanted to ask... Good morning, Mom. So Patrick has been helping me with my my shop, and he had missed a morning routine of his coffee a few days ago, and then continued to become caffeine curious, and decided to give it up too. You want to talk about it, Patrick?
Yeah, you you were driving pretty hard. I had to come help you, come save the day, right? One morning. I got to come join John one morning, and I just was busy and excited to, go help my friend build his fort, and I just forgot to take the coffee like I normally do. And by that time, the afternoon rolled around, the caffeine headaches started in, and I was just like, if we're here already, maybe I need to give caffeine another look. So I decided to let it roll, and we were talking about this beforehand. Judy, I want to thank you for noting that, thankful for being sober, because I've done no caffeine, like I got to detox. I got to clean out, when I had still been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be healthy. And then later that night, go down 6, like
high octane
IPAs or high octane IPAs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Insanity. But my point is, now that I'm going through this, and I noted like my caffeine withdrawals have been subtle, but they're lasted longer than I thought and appeared in more places than I thought.
Yeah.
And so, I noted that its tendrils reach a lot deeper than I anticipated. But it's been
oh snap
toolkit to deal with.
Patrick, we got some choppiness. It's coming back. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
I'm back. I was just thankful.
Tendrils.
Yeah. Thankful for the soberness to reflect on that and have the toolkit to deal with the withdrawals, right?
Mm-hmm. Because you've already been through it. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh, it's just kind of like a little thing. I can see my way. I see my body reacting this way. I have this to help deal with it. And like before, it would have been confusing. In fact, it was confusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Initially, yeah.
if you're still drinking, and trying to give up stuff like caffeine, or and you don't have that toolkit, you're just yesterday and the day before, I had a hard case of the Bluzz.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, ugh, I'm not. You want to do that? Like. So I just was like, all right, I'm just chill at the pool, or
Yeah.
get
Sometimes
a few chores done here and there and chill.
Yeah. Sometimes you just
Good.
gotta let that ride. You got the Blahs, just let them ride. They're there. Just say, okay, they're here for a reason, and just let it ride. Tomorrow's gonna be a better day.
Right?
Yeah.
So I know we're talking about this. Thanks for sharing that, Patrick. And
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not on some kind of weird anti-caffeine crusade. That's not what this is about. I know for me, we're drink decaf because we've got very fine French roasts that we love, and love the ritual and the taste of coffee. But it's for me, I didn't realize that the caffeine had such a profound effect on anxiety tolerance and depression tolerance. It was really weird. This morning, got up super early, was out doing some work. It was really gloomy and rainy.
It was awesome.
Kind of my favorite
It
weather.
was so good. It was so cool. It was yeah.
And I'm physically tired from pouring a concrete patio yesterday. Heads up, y'all, if it's a 103-degree heat index, I recommend do not pour your own
Concrete slab.
5x8 slab. God, Jesus Christ Almighty, that was a ton
You
of
did
work.
it though.
I know. It looks good. Anyway, I was out there this morning and I started to have a remnant of an old emotion started coming back. I was like, oh man, here we go. I'm about to have the anxiety. And I was like, oh, I don't. I 100% don't. And what that used to be for me, I recognize, is when I would be really tired and I would drink a couple cups of coffee, have that caffeine in me. Once it starts to dissipate, then the anxiety would start to come on, and it's the tiredness and then coming down. I don't know if it was coming down. It's just like your brain just, I don't have the capacity anymore to have any sort of chemical influence like that.
Yeah, I think once you start going through the whole sobriety journey, you start to become more aware of what your body's going through. You start to become more aware of all the idiosyncrasies that you flow throughout the day, throughout the week. And so when you are paying attention to those things, any kind of external stimulant or chemical that's going to cause an adverse effect in your body, you're very aware of it now, as opposed to when we were in the middle of our drinking escapade and a cup of coffee with caffeine in it. I wasn't aware of all the effects it had on me.
No.
We were intentionally avoiding.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're coming down off that caffeine, to be honest, what came in when that anxiety hit, when you're coming off that caffeine, you remember what some of the big feelings were? Or like, not feelings, but desires, or, like, that's when the drinking thinking would like really kick into high gear.
What would help this problem is a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd get away. Oh yeah, I'll just have a Monster through lunch. And that's just like even worse in some ways. Yeah.
Oh, those are brutal.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right, Patrick. I realize as you're saying that's what it used to be. Is feeling anxious. It'd be Bloody Mary time.
Yeah.
Or it would be nothing for me to crack open a beer at 8 o'clock in the morning, working on something in the garage. Not even a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then that anxiety would be gone. Wouldn't be gone. It would just be building up in the backlog.
Yeah.
Right.
It would just be underneath that rug.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, the thing that really stopped me, it would be for anything anymore. I have this ideal, and that is like Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist says that if you're curious about how something's affecting you, just stop for a week and see if it has any effect. And if it has an effect, then it's got its tendrils in you. So that's what it was with coffee, and that's what Patrick was talking about. It's like surprising how when you quit something, you're like, oh shit, man, it's in me. I didn't realize every day. Just okay.
And the nice thing is with it now, I'm still approaching it how I approach my sobriety. Like I can't tell you if I'm going to have coffee again. Right.
Yeah.
But for now, I want to be like, I recognize that I'm still going through withdrawals on it. And I'm like, I need to see what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the best I can do is one day at a time.
Yeah.
So, as the headaches come up, it is, just a wonderful reminder to center yourself and be present, raise the awareness, and, like understand that this too shall pass. And just, if this is what your body's presenting you that it needs attention on, then that mild headache, when you have a case of the blez and the mild headache, then sitting down and taking care of yourself, or, taking time for that introspection is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Not to ignore it and have another beer or, whatever, do something else.
Yeah. It's your body's way of telling you, giving you information.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys want to get into Stop Fighting Your Mind? We'll watch a 3-minute segment, and then we'll continue a discussion on that.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, quick reminder, what we've been doing is another reaction portion. We were watching, it's a channel, Wisdom Now, but does Michael Singer have his own channel, Patrick? Do we know?
Yeah, he has his own podcast.
Okay.
And we'll get into it later, but
okay,
he's got a whole bunch of material over a bunch of areas.
All right, let me pause the music. Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Today we're listening to the album Neon. It is free and copyright free, available on wherever you get your music. It's not sponsored, by the way. Okay, so what we've been doing is, this one's a pretty long one, Stop Fighting Your Mind, Do This Instead by Michael A. Singer. It's 21 minutes long, but we're not going to sit here and...
watch it for 21 minutes.
or as Patrick calls it, do the presentation Bob. It's,
read along, Bob. Read along, Bob.
Read along, Bob.
If you're in the corporate environment and somebody puts up the PowerPoint and they just sit there and read the lines line by line and don't add any other conversation, they call it read along, Bob.
Yeah.
At that point, I asked, why didn't you just give us the deck rather than sit us through like read along time?
Yeah. At that point, my head is nodding and I'm.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so we're doing about 3-minute segments on here. Let's kick it off.
Forces are helping you, what forces are going to hurt you. It's plotting and planning what to say, what not to say, judging you because you said something stupid. It's just in there constantly talking about what? How it wants to be and whether it's going to be that way, because I care about the outcome. It's all about caring about the outcome. Even in the past, I wanted it to be that way, but that was 5 years ago. The outcome, it just keeps mattering, and the mind just keeps talking about it. So that's one way to look about the mind. Let's say you really don't want something to happen. Do you notice that your mind cares whether it happens or not? What if I challenge that? What if I stop this intuitively obvious thing and just say why? You will catch on one day that as long as you care about the outcome, your mind will never stop. You will have continuous problems. It will keep telling you what to do. It will fight with you all the time. And you will worry about every single thing that's going on. If I go out on a date with you and I care whether you like me or not, then I have to worry about whether you go out on a date with somebody else tomorrow. Then I have to worry about whether you called somebody up. Should I call them and check to see what come on, you all been there in high school. Check to see what they said about you. It all becomes very complicated, doesn't it? You ever been there? What is that? The root of that is what you need to look at. The root of that is that you care about the outcome of that date. It was not just a date. It wasn't just, let's go out, spend some hours together, and then I'll take you home and I'll go home. Wasn't that fun? That's not what it was. It was, I care about the outcome, not the event. That's a problem. I don't care about the hours we spent together. I care about what you're thinking after you leave. I care about what you're going to tell other people. I care about feeling rejected. I feel about being accepted. I feel about looking. It's not about the simple event that took place, which was two people spending a few hours together. So we never talk like this, do we? It's like it's so natural to be the other way that nobody even discusses what is truly natural and common, which is things are what they are, and here they are, and enjoy them and experience them when they're happening, and then deal with the next thing.
Oh, man, that hit home. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Hearing this again made me realize what he's doing here, and I like how he is putting in plain language. A lot of times it's very hard to describe attachment to some people, and he's putting it very much in plain language to understand what the brain is doing, to understand what attachment it is. It's caring about the outcome, right?
Yeah, I think he's also focusing on really encouraging whoever he's talking to, or the audience, to stay in the present, to be in the present. Stop worrying about what's going on in the background. Just be there in the present. Enjoy the conversation. Enjoy what's happening right now instead of the outcome of whatever is going on. Yeah, because I think we do. My brain does. I try not to, and I'm getting better at it, to be in the moment and enjoy what's happening at that moment instead of worrying about what everybody else is thinking about, the glass frog theory. It's not an easy thing to do when you've been doing it most of your life. Your brain automatically wants to go that direction. So you have to force it to stay here, stay in the present, stay in that moment, and just experience that moment, enjoy that moment. What does it smell like around me? What does it feel like around me? What's the environment around me? How's this conversation going? What are we talking about? Really understand what's going on at that moment and get involved in that moment instead of, what's going to happen tomorrow, or is this person going to call me later, or I really got to do laundry, or, a thousand other things that go on in your brain, instead of what's actually happening right there and really enjoying it and experiencing it. Not many of us live in the moment or experience the moment. We're 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 week ahead of the moment.
Behind.
Or behind. Yeah. We're never actually there in the moment. And I think being there in the moment is what we really need to focus on, what we really need to encompass and enjoy. Because, when you're, sick and in bed and your doctor says you're going to, you're not going to last long, what are you going to regret? All those moments that you never experienced because you were thinking about something else.
Right. I think he gives us a wonderful tool. A lot of our future tripping or worrying about the past, a lot of that can be rooted in fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So fear is a very strong and powerful driving emotion to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But he gives us one, and I love how you brought it up. Like, what's this smell like? What is that? Like, what's this feel like? Curiosity. He brings the natural ability for the brain to say why. Why has it got to be like that? To help us deconstruct and get to that point of being present. Like, I love that gift of being able to ask that to bring us to the present. Just being curious.
Mm-hmm.
Be curious, not judgmental.
Yes. Love that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing that. By the way, I meant to tell you, you have really enriched my life. Thank you for being a part of it.
Likewise, friend.
And babe, thanks again for your tolerance over these past couple of years dealing with me. Again,
You've had to deal with me too.
yeah, you're easy. For the record, I would not deal with me if I was on the other side. I would not. Anyway, so this is apropos, good timing. This is something I continue to work on all the time. I catch myself. I think not living in the moment and always projecting and what ifing was probably part of the foundation of my house of anxiety. I was telling you this morning that as I've been building out the workshop, sweet Jesus, Patrick, it's been 18 days, man. I'm on this thing every day doing something. And I realized that I had said for my other channel, the Fix Broken Stuff, that I was going to document the build on this. But I caught myself so many times going, oh, let me grab the GoPro or this camera and let me do. But I realized that right now it was not a good time because I'm in a therapy session for myself. And I have been in the moment for a lot of these things. This morning I was opening up a new soldering gun, and there's some new tips on there, and I'm like, wow, look at these happy little flat tips. What do these things do? It's like, oh, this is neat. Instead of before, I'd be like just opening something and then figuring out what to do with it and put it away, and not enjoying all the little aspects of this stuff. Same thing for the build on all these things. It wasn't for lack of motivation. I just caught myself going, it's the let me stop what I'm doing and put this on TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook so I can show someone an altered version of my happiness or how I want it to be seen. Just stop and fucking live in your world for a bit. Deal with you.
Yeah.
Deal with your own stuff. Deal with your own thoughts and emotions, your own fallacies.
I think that's another thing. You brought up a good point. I think that's another thing that takes us out of the moment is TikTok and Facebook and constantly having to post and how's it going to come across and how's the lighting and how's the visuals and all that. I think that's another thing that takes us out of the moment of enjoyment is the media, the instant gratification, the instant need to post and get somebody else's opinion and get so many likes. You're not really enjoying that moment of what you're doing because you're focused on, posting it and getting likes and getting views and all that kind of stuff. And I think you brought up a really good point. I think that's another thing that has jarred us out of being present.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me take a picture of my food.
Yeah.
What are you doing, people?
Well, not just for
eat
the
your fucking food, man. There's people starving.
Not just content creators, and this is one that I have to deal with on a regular basis. The doom scrolling on stuff. So either the TikTok or Reddit or whatever the platforms of your choosing that you can go through and just like try and take stuff in. So let me try and step through this. Immediately observing like others' opinions and contents coming in passively like that, we automatically take the seat of judger. Like we are here to judge and we don't say like this good, this bad, whatever. What I'm trying to say is by passively sitting there, we are putting ourselves in a state of comparison immediately. Mm-hmm. I don't like that food. I do like that food. Oh, that looks kind of neat. This looks like a fun project. That person's crazy.
I don't like that dress. I like the shorts.
But this is that self-confirmation bias, right? What happens when you see something that you align with? That's cute. That's fun. I like this person. They're funny. That aligns with my worldview of thinking. That validates me as a person, right? Mm-hmm. And you get all these micro hits, and then you just keep on going. And you're constantly just putting yourself in a state of comparison. And you know what? Sorry, I had a big one just come hit me. After caffeine, I think I wouldn't mind trying a little break from some of that stuff. I think that one's a little harder for me. And I didn't realize it now, like just always putting yourself in the seat of comparison is just instinctively taking you out of the present moment. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all it's doing.
Did you just have a light bulb moment?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we know it, and now that I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, duh, you're an idiot. but I had to like vocalize it and put it out there and hear myself say it to be like, yeah, you ding dong, it's right there.
Yeah.
Huberman talks about the dopamine detox that way too. Just you'd be surprised at how much pleasure we start to regain from being able to sit and look outside and listen to the birds.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but there's people that really start to lose that. It's not them. It's their brain going, fuck, we're just rats. We're not that complex as we like to think. We're just rats chasing the next nugget. It's like Candy Crush and just staring at it and getting little reward hits, a little bump, 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 bump constantly. Mm-hmm. And that's, if you ever think, oh, this is great software, or it's a great game, it's free. It's not free. That's why it's it's designed with your little rat mind in mind. That's
I joke, if it's free, you are the product.
that's right.
Yeah.
But going back to it, the taking us out of the moment. We caught ourselves a long time ago, and we noticed that with Facebook, so we quit the Facebook. I do have that Facebook that you see, but it's for the channel. It's how I whore myself out there. I just post, and no, all the people on Facebook no one cares about the sober mind anyway. So we were like, boo. I get like a one like once in a while. See my one like. I don't care.
Why are you going on a dopamine platform preaching against dopamine hits, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I was like, oh shit. I all of the friends I was pimping myself out to, and was like, oh man, none of these people are sober.
Yeah, true.
But and hey, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You do your thing.
You do you, boo.
But back to that, Patrick. Yes, it. I have a couple little things certain subreddits that I'm on at night. But see, we do it in bed too before we're going to sleep. I might quit. You want to quit together? I'll quit. I've quit Reddit.
Gonna be my
several.
accountability buddy, John.
Yeah, I'm deleting it today.
Well, moderation is, well, I'm sober. Speaking of moderation, there's irony there.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We'll check it out. We'll see where it lands.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, I haven't really got on on Amazon they've got that one little light bulb down, and then it's all everybody doing their little product reveal or that type of thing, and you can just scroll through and see and I do because I've gotten really good ideas from there, but I realize it's kind of the same thing. I haven't done that in a couple of days either. I just grab my Kindle and read my book.
That's hard. I think both are bringing up good point. I didn't want to like come out and say like electronics are bad, like being on these stuff is the evil, it's the devil, Bobby. I didn't want to come out hard like that because there are the amount of vast information and the intent in which you use it. Like, say you're doing a research for a build or a project or something, and you can cultivate like life lessons in a community that chats around that is absolutely powerful. But at the same time, if you're still doing it 6 hours down the line and you're just scrolling, it's kind of like a get in, get out scenario. Get what you need and leave the rest type of scenario. Don't get stuck in the molasses there.
Yeah, in the quagmire.
I don't know how else to describe it with the social media.
Moderation.
But it's weird. You have to set your phone has a built-in screen time thing that can give you reports and stuff, and that's like a weird. It's like a methadone for a heroin addict at this stage. If if there's a conscious awareness, the fucking manufacturers of these devices are saying, we know this is bad for you, so we put a gauge on there that'll show you how bad you're being on it because we don't know. We know that you're not going to quit. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what it is. There's literally a fucking screen that'll show you how many. It will give you a weekly report. Here's the apps you're using. And I've heard people be like, oh, I did so good on my screen time this week. No, you didn't. If we're having this fucking discussion about this stuff, then we're having... It's really weird now that I'm thinking about it, Patrick. If we're really sitting here talking about it, then we're like digital alcoholics in a sense. Like I think you said something. I'm not calling you
Well,
out.
an
'Cause
addict is an addict, no matter what the medium is. An addict is an addict.
It is, but we just had Patrick and I just said, okay, we'll quit together. We'll be accountability buddies. So if we're talking about consuming digital content now, and
We're creating it right now too.
yeah, but ours is
We're selling and just being like, oh God, I gotta quit this shit. Hey, you want some more?
Yeah, I gotta quit this. Please subscribe.
now I sound like a dealer. Ours is different.
Ours
will
I'm unique.
Ours
I'm
is
special.
Ours will help you.
Well, that's the point. There's good stuff out there, right?
There is
Now,
good
I'm
stuff.
very
There's a lot of
thankful
good stuff
for,
out
like,
there.
the network being able to push, people of like mind trying to find this stuff. The stop drinking subreddit is one of the ones that helped me, slingshot me on my path, right? I
Mhm.
learned to build a PC from the PC builder subreddit, like the PC part pictures and stuff like that.
Well,
And
there's
then,
also
like, I
YouTube
found-
University too. I mean,
Right,
I've learned
there's-
all kinds of stuff watching people on YouTube about gardening and about cooking and all different kinds of stuff. So there's you're right. There's really, really good information. It's just how much we choose to inundate ourselves with.
Yep. And I need to give you complete validation there, John, because if you talked about that screen time counter on something, you talked earlier about like, if something is, if you wonder how much of a profound effect something has on you, take it away and see what happens. And I realized, like, I had a big stuck here. Like I had a fear that you were going to ask me how much time was on my counter this week.
Hmm.
And I realized, like, wow, I felt like a big defense not to disclose that, to this community. Would they judge me
Mm.
for my counter on my
Ooh.
thing? Mine, I'll disclose mine. My weekly sits about at can vary to 4 to 6 hours on a daily.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know where that sits comparatively for some people, because that includes the times that I bring up Spotify to
Now, would
go
that
through
include
music.
if you're listening? Like I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
That's what he's saying.
Would that include? Would that
I
be
believe it's
counted on?
active screen time? Yeah, when you have it open and you're rolling through, it's amazing how quick it adds up, right?
Oh,
15
mine
to
would be
30
through the
minutes
roof then.
Yeah, 15 minutes to 30 minutes here and there. That's just a couple times.
No, it's active. You and I don't even have them turned on.
I don't think
It's active screen time when you're actively looking at stuff,
Oh, okay.
not listening to audiobooks. That's a healthy addiction.
I was gonna say, because that's hours a day.
No. Babe, what we're explicitly talking about the doom scrolling, staring down at your phone.
Got
getting
it.
a nugget. Now, if you would have looked in the last couple of weeks at your Amazon thing, the TikTok.
Yeah, that probably would have been a little bit high. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I sounded like I was getting defensive there. I didn't mean that.
No, you're fine.
No, I mean, that's a good point. Of when I told you that block, it can't quantify that, and we want to be like, well, it wasn't all bad, right? I was doing some research for this, and I was doing this for this, and I was doing this for the podcast, so it wasn't all bad. We're trying to justify that. So I don't know. That's a sticky wicket for sure to try and detangle. And maybe, we can, if we wanted to pursue that, that's something that we could learn about, where we're hanging up exactly on, or what would be healthy engagement boundaries for us.
Yeah, my
'Cause
mom.
that's part of the,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because the answer is not going to be like, we need to give it all up, or everybody's going to have their own healthy engagement levels, and it's
Mhm.
not going to be the same. And it's up to us to just give us a space to go on that journey to find that, rather than just passively let it happen to us.
Yeah. Mom, or I should say Maggie Hart, since she's only my mother, said moderation in all things, phrased differently from Buddha, Jesus, Aristotle, Benjamin Franklin, Abe Lincoln.
Yep.
But I think that's so a counterpoint of that is all three of us don't understand what moderation inherently is. We can say we do, but we're alcoholics. So I think our minds are broken on that aspect. And when it comes to the digital consumption of stuff, we don't know what the moderation is. There's no doctors out that are like, limit it to like 30 minutes a day. We don't know. My whole thing about the kids at the bus stops that I see all year round, just all staring at their phones. Like I could walk by and knock them all over, kidnap 2 of them, throw them in the creek. No one would fucking know because they're sitting there looking at their Ticky Tacs or whatever. I was at Home Depot. Lady had to be in her 60s. I was walking by cash register. I was waiting for a line. She's just sitting there looking at her phone, like gently chuckling and stuff. I felt like going, "Hey, fucking work! You're supposed to be at work. Where's your boss?" Sorry, went on a tangent.
So and I would counter that too. We had coming back from my vacation, we had a layover in the airport for like 5 hours.
Oof.
I was very thankful that the kids had their Kindles, for a bit. They didn't watch it the whole time, of course. We do get up and walk around, but like, for parents, and part of me hates to say like, I use my Kindles to help sedate my kids, but honestly, it was helpful, as long as you make sure that the content's appropriate and they're not like going down the YouTube rabbit holes of some weird stuff that you can go down. Like there's, my son wants to crank out a couple episodes of Daniel Tiger and have them teach about emotional intelligence. I mean, is that a bad thing?
No.
At least we think not.
Without having children, I mean, our dogs don't, sit there on the laptop and do anything, so we're good.
You don't know.
My kids complain
That's true,
when I put them in. My kids complain when I put them in the kennel too. So
it's not
that one landed a little flat. I'll have to workshop that.
No, that was good.
That was good. I got it.
But so this is queuing up, for next Saturday. Laura and Brian are going to be on, and man, we're going to get into this stuff. It's going to be a multi-series event. It's just
I'm really interested. I've got a couple questions for Laura that I'm curious about as far as being a teacher and dealing with students that possibly have parents who are addicts, and I'm curious to see how that reflects on the children in the classroom and how she handles those issues, because I'm sure that there's got to be some major issues there.
Yeah, the sociology discussions with her is what I'm really excited about, because when we spoke, and we'll be very careful with, we'll let her discuss the grade level that she teaches and all that stuff, so we can make sure that if she wants to have some sense of anonymity, we can make sure that that's possible too. I don't know. I don't know how it works. She's going to be on video. That we'll see. Whatever, however she decides to approach it. But in the brief conversation that we had with her, Patrick, she was saying that when we asked her if she could tell the difference, between the handful of kids that do and or don't have cell phones at these ages, if there's a difference, and she said, "Oh yeah, for sure." So I was like, "Oh, we'll hold that thought, because I want to talk about the difference in the engagement and the attention."
Another thing,
deficits that are
coming back to being in the present, that they're just not in the present.
I know. I really do. Yes, this is very old manny of me, but there is, when we were, I don't want to get into too much of this discussion, because we will, these are trailers for the discussion to be had, but what we started talking about was that there's a profound impact on social development of these minds, because you are missing those interactions. If you're sitting at the bus stop like this until the bus comes, and then you get on and you sit down and you're back to this, when we were kids, I know, back in my day.
All right, old man John.
But the digital consumption has come on so fast and so strong. Look, I remember when I was a pilot user for Facebook when it came out. It wasn't too long ago. You know, the iPhone just turned 15 or some shit like that. It's not that old. It's really, you think it's been around for a lot longer. It hasn't. And with that, the sophistication of all of the application platforms and the artificial intelligence that's been, listen, everyone, AI is not new. I don't know. Everyone's like, artificial intelligence is coming. Like, bitch, it's been around for ever since people were dot matrixing cards and whatnot. But the interactions that I think youth and adults now are missing because of digital content is what is, you know, I said a phrase, I joke, but I kind of mean it, like the kids at the bus stop, like, fucking go get into a fist fight with each other or something. You know, have a social interaction.
Interact with the person standing next to you.
I don't want them to fight. I don't condone bullies. I hate bullies, but I'm the bully of bullies. But, you know, I was thinking the other day, Patrick, is it still a thing, like, to build a tree house, to go in the creek and just explore,
to drink out of the hose?
Yeah. And like when I was a kid, we would roll down in Switzerland, you know, the hills where the cows would graze, and I caught my God, it had to be like a 5-foot tapeworm that my mother extracted from my ass. Those are experiences.
So this is,
Thanks for sharing.
that was nasty, man.
I love this exercise. You know, we feel that pull, like we see, you know, wake up, sheeple, you know, get off your phones, you know, like that's something that's sticking inside. That's not, John, that's not an outside problem. That's a you problem. That's a me problem. You know, what I mean by that is, like, if it is, be the change you want to see. You're not going to be able to, like, show how important being present is.
Mm-hmm. I think Maggie just wrote COVID increased that, and I think she's right. I mean, being forced into smaller groups, smaller areas, unsociable environments, and all you have is your phone or your computer or your TV or whatever. Now you're stuck. You can't go out and socialize with these people. So the only way you can is through your phone. And I think that definitely increased that need, desire, whatever it is, to have it, to grab your phone instead of talk to the person standing next to you.
To be not present.
Yes.
I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling of waiting or feeling bored.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Later.
Yeah, Michelle says the Gen Xers were the last generation to go out and play. Listen, folks,
I'm a borderline millennial. That's like to say, like, is it the kids that are wrong, or is it I'm wrong? Right. No, it is the kids. You know, they're just people. They're just trying to figure it out themselves. They have a whole new set of circumstances that we can't even begin to imagine.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. And they're doing the best they can to survive it. Right. So if it is worthwhile to be present, we struggled. The generation before us was saying the exact same thing. These kids don't know how to wash foil and save all the Tupperware, or, you know, whatever the previous generation was saying. TV is going to rot your brain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get out there and be the change you want to see. We're going to deal with encroaching technology, so it is up to us to live and show why being present is important.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, I hate the exclusionary. I am valid. My generation doing this makes us special. You know what?
No. You're 100% right, Patrick. And again, for our viewers out there, I'm frustrated by this situation because I think we use the word moderation. I don't know how to moderate digital intake.
Neither do I. We'll learn together.
Yeah,
I think everybody is learning.
Yeah,
it's just that it's
a whole new societal experience that we're going through.
It's
right
so
now.
quick.
Yeah.
It's come on too fast. It's beautiful. It's what
Industrial societies come on too quick. You mentioned it the other day. I mean, we're still in caveman. Our brains were evolutionally developed for caveman mode.
Yep.
The amount of information that we intake today compared to 50 years ago, compared to 50 years before that, is exponentially larger. Not a few times more, exponentially. Like that is just like unfathomable, but the amount of the development that we've asked our society to do in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
There is okay, so sorry, we've already gone down the rabbit hole on this. We've got a few minutes left, but there is I forget the name of it. Just go use the pervasive search engine and look for CEOs against social media. It's not The Social Network. That's a movie. That was very good, by the way. Jesse, what's his name, did an awesome job. But there's a documentary that was on Netflix a while ago that's got these former, I think, chief administrative officers and whatever C-level type folks from Facebook, from Snapchat, Google, a bunch of them that are they've got some profound insight about how this stuff was created, and all of them, every last one of them, they're super staunch about it. They're like, I would never, ever fucking allow my children to get onto a social network, knowing what it does, knowing how we engineered these algorithms to wrap around brain matter and dopamine receptors. You know what I mean? And these people left because they have such staunch views about this stuff. So it's very interesting to see. And then going back to, just at the very basics of it, it's the taking you out of the moment. Any more, as my conscious sobriety continues to scab over and gently smooth over the sobriety, alcoholism scars that have been there, that I gently pet every day and remember the pain and the suffering. I always look at these moments and go, am I being an asshole for thinking this way? No, I'm collecting my own conscious decision and realizing that if there is something out there that's taking us away from ourselves, whether that's alcohol, drugs, social media, digital content, whatever it is, then we owe it to ourselves and each other, and we have to be owners of the responsibility to take a look at this stuff and go, babe, am I going crazy? Are you giving me that look?
No.
Okay. We owe it to look and go, hey man, maybe back off, maybe pull it back a little bit. Like, hey John, there's
being our own parent.
Right. There's no reason why
Yeah.
you should be comfortable with John being able to literally consume a fucking 30-pack of beer on a Friday night.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, there's no...
Well, and also in social media with children, I think we as adults have to be our own parent with this stuff. We're asking children to be their own parent as far as social media goes. The judgment that they get on social media, their need to, or their care about the outcome of what other people are thinking of them is still in a growing phase. They're still maturing. They're still going through that maturation of trying to deal with that. And then to have to, as a child, try and parent themselves without those tools of being an actual parent. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And I can see how some of these children, really go down the rabbit hole and get very self-conscious, and then all of a sudden you have a child or a teenager that's thinking about committing suicide.
Not just thinking about it. So you nailed it. There's wild amounts of eating disorders, especially for young girls, and women, females in general. real world suicide that happens because of this stuff. And I know we're not talking about anything new, but so that goes to the question, Patrick, to your point, you know, from the day in this generation, people are brought into this world and this platform is thrust upon them, or, you know, at the age of 3, they're handed a phone or a tablet, and now this is your babysitter. I'm not judging anyone. I'm saying in a real roundabout bad way, like, where the hell is the moderation then? Like, what do we say then? Oh, the first thing I did was like, oh, those parents should have had more control over that teenage girl. You know, not let her be on all that social media.
How did those parents not notice what was going on with their child?
Yeah, how in the hell is
we don't know.
Social media bullying, you know, how is that a thing? It's something I don't understand, but maybe
that's because we never grew up with that information in front of our face all the time. And we never, some of those kids, I don't think were ever taught that you don't take this seriously. There's thousands of people, millions of people out there. You know, everybody's going to have their own opinion. It doesn't mean it has to be your opinion. It doesn't, you know, that parenting, that giving them tools to work with instead of, you know, just handing them, here, turn it on and hand it to them, and then never give them any idea of how to deal with all that information influx.
Yeah, it's definitely so Patrick was over and we were talking about how, so I happily let him cut out 3 walls of the windows and the outlets because my math is bad, and I learned a thing about my skill saw from Patrick, which was awesome. I consider myself to be a mediocre DIY handyman that knows how to do some woodworking stuff, but Patrick does it very well, and his brother, I found out, does it very well, really good. But Patrick and I started talking about how I have some friends that they asked me, like, John, how do you know how to do this stuff? Just, you know, and I'm like, I didn't say it, but I was telling Patrick, like, I felt like going, how the fuck do you not? How do you, this is the silo that I live in. This is an alternate reality of what other people are going through. So yeah, it's selfish in a sense, but Patrick and I were going through, like, I know people that don't know how to change a fucking car tire. That is wildly absurd to me.
I went to high school with a girl who didn't even know how to pump her own gas in her car.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I was like, what? She goes, oh yeah, I go to self-serve. I don't pump my own gas. I don't know how.
So what I don't want to come across as sounding like a complete abrasive know-it-all asshole. I'm not. What I'm saying is that there is social fabric that's being lost on me, and I'm losing some social fabric, if that makes sense, because there's no because. I don't know. I think there's, as we go, as it continues to, it's not going to get less. It's not getting compressed. It's going to continue to just cone out. You know,
the information, you mean?
Virtual reality heads, you know, just everything that are designed to get people to lock into the digital content, so you can get a momentary blip of some algorithm that's going to make you go out and buy a fucking 2-liter of Diet Mountain Dew. That's all this stuff is for. It's just gentle sales pitches to get you to go buy something or get locked into whatever. We need to figure out a nice happy medium. I keep myself, so does Patrick. We are technologists, so that's our passion. We immerse in that. But what also drives our creative investigatory minds is being able to tear down a wall if we need to, and rewire some electrical outlets and things like that. I don't know.
Well, it's your ability to unplug from the technical environment.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think it is for me, my ability to unplug. I mean, hell, I went to the store yesterday and forgot my phone and went, okay, I'll just go to the store and my phone's sitting at home. It wasn't I have to turn the car around and go back and get my phone because I have to have it on me all the time. It wasn't one of those deals.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in an era where we had to take a couple quarters with us to make sure that if we were out, we could find a payphone and call in case we needed something. A payphone. I had a beeper when I was in high school.
Drug dealer.
I was not a drug dealer.
Babe, that's totally how you got your weed.
But yeah, so I mean, it's evolved at a rate that we haven't been able to, I don't think, adjust our social understanding of it.
And look, I'm not lost on, well, look how different things were in 1800. I 100% understand that, but we are being forced into a trajectory that is putting us into a weird space of non-reality. And what I mean by that is when there's no electricity and no internet, people are fucking lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild to see what people like. Where you and I work, Patrick, when there's no internet, no one can work. No, it just existence stops. It's like, what can I do? You can go change a tire. Or can you? No, you call AAA, you lazy bastard. All right, I've said too much. Patrick, final thoughts?
When that happens, that's time to go live, right?
Yeah.
Time to go be present.
Yeah. Time to go and learn how to cook with fire.
Yeah. Maybe that's where we need to start. Gotta go hunt something gentle. Just go gut a fish. Catch your own catch and harvest your own meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go do something survival wise. Something that
Be
that
the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If those are important, then we need to execute them on a daily fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm a technologist, if that means, cutting back my intake and being present for those interaction moments, that's how I can contribute.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to I can't go out and be like, burn it down, start over. It's not going to happen.
No, I think as humans we have to, we are adaptable creatures. That's in our genetics. We learn to adapt. We just have to learn to parent as well ourselves.
And until I think all of our points, it's just that it's so fast and so prevalent.
It's going to be confusing no matter how fast it develops. Comparative society, real work is in here.
Yes.
Work is in here. It's no matter what it's going to change out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to change. Go fast, go slow, survive, have all these extra tools at your hand. Real work's here.
That's the only consistency in life is change.
Real work is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Patrick, should we wrap it up? Good time?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you or someone you love or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts or ideation, call 988. It's a good starting point to get some mental health help.
Yes, reach out. You're not alone.
You are not alone. If you or someone you know or love is struggling with addiction or has a family member or friend that's struggling with addiction and you want to help but you don't know where to start, contact Al-Anon. Get on their website, check it out, or give them a call. Go to a meeting. You can do virtual, go in person, whatever. Just start talking about it. Fantastic organizations. I'm excited. We got, like I said, next Saturday we got Laura and Brian.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go deep, and we thought we went deep today. We're gonna crack the well open on the sociology. And then, what's the date we have? Is that locked in? Can I say the next guest after that?
I'm pretty sure it's locked in. It's on the calendar. 22nd.
22nd. Kelly.
Yeah, we're going to have Kelly back on the 22nd.
Yep. She'll be over. and we'll keep on cruising from there. Patrick, are you okay? I get a sense that you're frustrated.
How so?
I feel like maybe I was too aggressive about the digital content, and maybe it pointed at you.
No, I often get frustrated when we are deep into these conversations and it feels like, you know, when I mean personal work is in here,
Mhm.
it's so easy for us to be like, well, this is what's wrong with society. You know what? There's a lot of aspects of society that is fucked up and that we didn't ask for, period.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I'm going to get real dark here, if you were nuked from your spot right now, you're gone. If John was gone, shit's going to happen the way it's unfolding, whether you are around or not. The question is, are you going to be able to get with the program and get right inside to let you experience what's going on inside you? So every time we get frustrated when we see the kids at the bus stop, you know, wake up, sheeple, get fucking right, you know, get in a fight, go do something. We have to learn to let that go. That is not them. That is not them. We cannot project that onto our kids. And projecting that onto our future generations is where our past generations have failed, in my opinion. So that's why I take it I take that very personally, that it is incumbent upon us. If you want to preach so hard that there's something wrong with society, be the change. Be the change you want to see. I'm so mad X, Y, and Z is fucked up. Yeah, you have a right to be mad. Are you going to sit there and wait for your happiness or that change to come until X, Y, and Z is fixed? We're going to be waiting a long time in society for that to get fixed before we can get right.
Yeah.
So I guess the frustration comes from my own personal approach to that, you know, because I feel like I can get stuck spinning my wheels on those for so long, and I did for so many years. Only if everything was like this and we had no technology and we could go back to like just being, but you know what? In past times, that's nostalgia or like some other future thinking, right? We're putting expectations, and nostalgia is a hell of a feeling because I liken it to alcohol. Like we look back on stuff at the highlight reel of things, right? Things were so good in the past because of X, but you know what? There were like large amounts of minorities and other social groups that were like way more oppressed than we were in certain time periods that were exploited for others to be able to live at certain levels. Or it wasn't quite as rosy as you thought. You just remember the rosy parts, and now you're playing the highlight reels back. You know, like my point is, it wasn't how you remembered, because you are projecting yourself onto your memories of the past right now. The best we can do is be present. And I will continue to hammer that home. And that's why I get here and we're hugging, we're saying like, all right, we're going to be present. We're going to be present. We're doing those darn kids, you know, it's like, hey, let's practice what we preach. Be present. Those kids are going to have to deal with that. And it sucks. They're dealing with something that I can't even begin to imagine. And the best I can do is give them space to help deal with that and understand. Like you said, Judy, they don't know any different. They're going to grow up thinking their avatars on social media is them. They're going to have this part of identity that we did not even think of possible. But they are intrinsically growing up tied to that, and they're going to have to learn to disentangle themselves on their own path.
We had stuff in our own path that we had to learn to disentangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I needed to hear that, Patrick. Thank you for challenging me.
It wasn't, and I wasn't trying to come at you or anybody in particular. That was me. Like I said, that was a reflection on me. That was a part of my stuck. people are going to approach the problems how they do, and that oftentimes we project back onto it. And so I do the same. I'm just like everybody else.
You're just human.
Just human. Working to be present.
Yes, that's the key, I think, with what we watched today, and with a lot of our struggles, day-to-day struggles, is just to learn to be in the present and accept things for what they are. And if the whole serenity prayer.
Yeah. You've given me something to think about, Patrick. Now I feel like a jerk, and nope. I need it. Sometimes I need my jerkiness. No, you're right. I shouldn't project. I'll continue to be vocal about my opinion, though. It feels it's part of my
I mean,
my
it's
therapy.
all right to say, like, hey, this is intrusive. This technology is a little out of control. Like I said, we can't passively just sit here and be open to it. And that's the thing about being present. Being present doesn't mean you sit back and breathe through everything and let it happen to you, right? You understand how to let the experience pass through you, and how can you elevate it as it passes through you. And that is so confusing. And I mean, I'm even speaking those words, and I'm like, that's like stuff like Buddha and even Michael Singer and others are talking about. And I still am like, what the hell are you guys even talking about? It struggles like that's some granola crunchy stuff. Like, what are you guys even like? Are you here? Are you experiencing life? And they are, just in their own way too. I'm just,
Everybody
it's just
has
a lot.
their own experience.
Everybody has their own experience. Yes.
That's right. Okay, let's wrap it up. I already did my my Al-Anon in 988. I am looking forward to the next couple discussions that we'll be having with folks. Laura and Brian for sure. Kelly for sure. I say for sure to those two because that's all we have on the chopping block coming up. But okay, I think I got my outro queued up. No, I don't. I forgot to put it in there.
Thanks for listening. Check out the Sober Mind live stream at youtube.com/@sobermind.
All right, everybody.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Be patient with yourself.
I know I frustrated some people, but I'm saying go change a tire. Just do it. Just save your day. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the support.
Yes, thanks for all the support.
We got a ton of subscribers. Subscribe if you like. If you don't, I don't give two shits.
We do. We would like you to subscribe, but
No.
if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too.
Right now, I don't. Don't. In fact, don't. Do not.
Babe.
Don't give yourself the digital heebie-jeebies. Fucking get
Digital
off.
dopamine hit.
Yeah, get off of here. Don't clickety-click anything. Go.
We'll see you when you come around. If you catch us, it'll be great. If not,
Yeah. If not, it's
we'll see you
okay.
out there.
In fact, why are you watching this? Fucking go outside. All right. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye.
Later.